Show we are here to inspire you about building your own business and helping you stay on track of your goals. It's a daily cup of motivation. A supportive group of women who wants to see you succeed in your business, and we'll support you every step of the way. Right in the morning. Just put your mind to it. Coffee with Nikkie. Wake up everybody in the morning. Wake up everybody. It's coffee with Nikkie, and we have to get our drink on. So educate your mind, right? Educate your mind, right? Educate your mind, right? Hey, we riding, yo. Wake up in the morning, 5 a.m. in the morning. I'm yawning, brainstorming when my mind is forming. Time to tune to this morning show early in the morning. Listen to Coffee with Nikkie. Oh yes, she's busy. If you need help, tune on the channel right with me. Strong, independent women make it sound easy. Take it Wake up everybody in the morning. Wake up everybody. It's coffee with Nikkie, and we have to get our drink on. So educate your mind, right? Educate your mind, right? Educate your mind, right? Hey, we riding, yo.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing this amazing morning? We have rain, but it was much needed rain. We had some heat the past couple of days, but it is raining and the garden is loving it. I'm loving it. I love storms. That could kind of be like a testament to my life. I do love storms, but sometimes too much rain can be a bad thing. But we're going to talk about the garden today. And today's topic is going to be what's eating your garden. I wrote my notes out. And I'm going to be talking about some things. I'm going to be talking about my squash plants, and I'm going to be talking about my collard greens, right? And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Yesterday, we spoke about the Midwest Conference. Everybody who's going to the Midwest Conference, I cannot wait to meet you. The time is dwindling down. We are traveling on Thursday. We will see each other. The team will be meeting up on Thursday, and we'll see all of you guys on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, jam-packed weekend. Super excited for this weekend. Also, we are going to be doing a live Coffee with Nikkie at the brunch, so I'm excited for that as well. We're gonna have a great time. So with that being said, welcome everybody to Coffee with Nikkie. I am your host, Miss Nikkie, and this is your daily cup of information and inspiration. And let's see who we got in the building. All right, so we see, you guys know her as Latrice of Heartbeat Candle Co. I feel like when I'm saying this in my head, there's music, and then the music stops. Like a dum-dum-dum-dum. You guys know her. That's how I say it in my head. That's like really where it goes. You guys know her as Latrice of Heartbeat Candle Co. I, on the other hand, call her cousin. But here in these YouTube streets, we all call her the best moderator on what? Earth, the best moderator on Earth's in the building. Good morning, cousin. Good morning. Good morning, Melody. Good morning. She said, good morning, everyone. Make it a productive day. Come on, productive day. Yes. Good morning, Deltra. Good morning. Deltra's in the building. Good morning, Melissa. Melissa's in the building. She said, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Miss Lois. Miss Lois is in the building. She said, good morning, ladies. Good morning, Kay. Kay's in the building. Good morning, Tracy. Good morning. Let me tell y'all something. I gotta be the latest, earliest person on earth because I'm early. I was early writing up my notes and everything. Well, typing up my notes. And I'm looking at the time. I was like, oh, I got plenty of time. Listen to Sister Eula. Oh, I still got plenty of time. Still typing up my notes, still reading over everything, making sure I hit all the points and do all the things that I want and say what I want to say, right? Typing all of that stuff up. Then all of a sudden, I look down and it's 9 o'clock. I'm like, how is it 9 o'clock? It was just 8:44. So I got to be the latest, earliest person ever. Every time I think I got so much time, every time I think like, oh yeah, I got plenty of time, I always come up here late. I'm always late. So like I said, we're going to talk about our garden this morning. How many of you guys are gardening? Please put ones in the chat. If you are gardening this season, put ones in the chat. I have been looking at other, I look at garden videos and things like that because I'm trying to strengthen my craft. I'm trying to, this is is a lifestyle. I want it to be. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be a lifestyle. I do want to have a larger garden. Every year, I do expand my garden, and I want to have, I want to be able to grow things. But with growth, is going to be different challenges. Different challenges are going to present themselves. And this year, challenges have been presenting themselves to me, right? Things that have been easy to grow for me before are not this easy, not easy this year. Like there are huge challenges. Like we are already at the end of July. I have not seen a green bean yet. And I started my green beans in May, June. I don't have a green bean yet. And I planted new ones because I was, remember I told you I think the birds were taking the seed. And so it never really grew. And then I kept on putting new seeds in there. My peas, same thing. I had only 3, and I could count them on one hand, 3 sugar snap peas. And those things are so delicious. I love those things. I even planted them in different sections of the garden so I could, test it out to see what's going to work. And yeah, I still have nothing growing on them. So then it made me think like, could it be my soil? Could my soil be? Because I got new soil. Remember for Mother's Day, I wanted soil, and I was like, could it be my soil? Maybe they didn't give me the same kind they gave me last year. Because last year my stuff was growing like that soil. It was I had topsoil and mushroom compost, and it was growing like magic. Like everything was growing like magically. Everything just looked so abundant and so healthy. I had so many tomatoes, so many green beans. If you followed my story last year, you seen me harvesting the green beans. We had them for dinner, like, and I had enough that I could feed the family with. This year, not one green bean. I haven't seen one yet. I seen flowers on my green beans, but I have not seen green beans yet. So the challenge is that, everything that worked for me last year seems like it's not working for me this year. And I said, you know what? That is a good thing to say for us in business, us in life, because there's going to be challenges. We are going to go through life, and life is going to present challenges, period. Right. And so things that used to work are not working. Remember, I told you I could grow tomatoes, green beans, peas, cucumbers. I could grow those things with my eyes closed. But this year I was struggling. This year I struggled. It's not to say that I'm not going to get those things, because I still have the rest of this month and next month to actually, get something. I'm not getting as much as I did in the previous years, but I am going to be, I'm still going to try. I'm not going to give up. I am going to still continue to try different methods and see, right? Again, I told you guys that there's things going in there eating my vegetables, right? So I do see buds and things happening, but I don't get to harvest the fruit. I don't get to enjoy the fruit. Something else is enjoying my fruit. Same thing with you, your business, your life. Somebody else could be taking something from you, right? And they're experiencing the success based off of something you gave them. They're experiencing the success based off of a recipe or something that, you know what I'm saying? Like it can be anything. Just think about it and put it in any place in your life. Something else is enjoying the success of the fruits of your labor. You know what I'm saying? Something else is enjoying the success of the fruits of your labor, and you're sitting there feeling like, I put the seed in the ground, I nurtured this seed, I watered it. And if you have a garden, you are going out there 100 times a day and you are checking it. I go out there, I know my neighbor looks at me like, girl, what are you doing? My neighbor has to look at me like, she out there again. And I have an elderly neighbor across the street, and so she has her own garden and things that she has. I think she has flowers and stuff. She doesn't have like fruits and vegetables, but I know she's always looking like, girl, what are you doing out there? Because she's always looking out the window or always at the door because her cat's out there. And so she's like, oh, if she catches me outside, she'll be like, oh, your forest is growing, or what you got going on over there? She'll have a conversation because she's, alone. But still, I'm like, she got to be looking at me like I'm crazy because I'll be out there looking at the leaves. I'm picking them up. I'm turning them over. I'm just staring at things. Like I'm trying to see if I see a bug. I'm trying to see if I see some fruit. And I'm just staring at it, right? And I do that quite a few times a day. Like I'm looking at the garden all morning long. If when I'm sitting there working, doing computer work, I'm sitting right in front of the window looking at it. So I planted the seed. I cultivated I made sure I got the good dirt, I got the good compost, I'm doing what I need to do. I'm nurturing it, I'm watering it, I'm checking on it, I'm pruning it. And something else is taking my fruit. The squirrels climbing up, stealing my stuff, and going out and enjoying it. And sometimes they're not even enjoying it. They're picking it before it's even ripe or ready, and they just leaving it out there. I'm like, you could have left it on the vine. You could have just left it there and let it grow. But no, you wanted to take it before it was ready. You didn't even want it. You took a bite. They did that to me with my strawberries. Because I had strawberries and they were growing like beautifully. Every time they turn red, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get a strawberry. Every time they turn red, the chipmunks or the squirrels came and they got the damn strawberries. I'm like, y'all gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. I put the bags on it. I put organza bags on it, and it still was eating the strawberries. Still eating the strawberries. Through the bag. Through the bag. Through the bag. Like, come on. But you know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, thank you for growing this for us. But I'm saying I'm growing it for me. You know what I'm saying? And so this may be a season where you're planting seeds, where you're nurturing the seeds, and you don't see you're not bearing fruit. You don't see the success that you want to see right now. But I want to say that don't give up in this particular season, because this is a season that is teaching you something. This is a season that is teaching you how to overcome adversity. This is a season that is teaching you how to try different methods. This is a season that is teaching you how to grow through these challenges, right? I'm growing through these challenges. Yes, I do feel like throwing in the towel. Yes, I do feel like giving up. Yes, I do feel like, oh my gosh, this is not growing. It's the middle of July. It's the end of July. It's the end of July, and I still haven't had anything. I had one cucumber, 3-piece. I could count what I had already, and I had some lettuce. So I'm looking at it like I'm not as successful as I wanted to be. Here I go. My goal was, when I started this whole thing, is that I already knew what I was going to do. I'm expanding my garden. I expanded it, right? And I'm expecting a whole lot more fruit. And so in this season, I didn't get it. In this year, I didn't get the fruit that I was expecting, right? And it's not to say that I didn't have any wins, because I did, but I'm also looking at it like I don't feel like a successful gardener this year. I don't feel like um I'm being as successful as I could. I'm not bearing the fruit as the way I should right now. And somebody may be in a season right now where they feel like I'm doing all the things, I'm doing all this work, I'm trying to be consistent, I'm being disciplined, and it feels like nothing is working. Does anybody feel like that? Put someone's in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Do you feel like you're trying all the things and you just feel like nothing is working? You feel like you're in this hamster wheel and your legs are just moving, and you feel like you're going somewhere, but you look to the left, you look to the right, and you see that you're not moving. Let me know if that's you in the chat. Trying to, my patio isn't getting a lot of sun. Yeah. Good morning, Yazzie Faye. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I wish y'all could garden soon, very soon. Yes, go ahead. The squirrel stole my pumpkin and ate them twice. Yes. It's so many, and I don't want to call them predators because it's nature. This is their land. You know what I'm saying? But you got the deer, you got the squirrels, you got the chipmunks, you got the birds, you got the bugs, you got the worms, you got all these things going on in the garden, and you're like, I have so many things stacked up against me, but then it's like, okay, well, how can I preserve my garden? What can I do differently? What can I do better? Well, how can I approach this in a different way? And so this is what I want to encourage you guys. I don't want you to give up, because all of the things that you are trying right now are things that are going, you have data. You know what I'm saying? This is why I say you post enough on social media, and you have to post enough to get the information back. You got to post a lot of something to know if something doesn't work. If I only posted one time, how am I going to know that this type of content don't work? I'm going to just automatically assume that it doesn't work because I don't have anything else to compare it to. That is life all the time. It's always going to be this. If you fail, if you are not successful when you're trying something, or it didn't work out the way that you expected, or something happened and it just didn't happen for you, that doesn't mean that it's a fail. It just means that you got to try something different. It just means that you have information and data to say, well, the same thing. You have the data to say that, okay, this way didn't work. So now when I approach it the next time, I'm going to approach it this way. Or maybe I'm going to do more and I'm going to give different options so then I can have the information to know what I need to do for the next time. Or I need to know what I need to do to be successful. I know that I put out enough of this type of content to know that it will be successful, or this is the type of content that my audience enjoys. Because if you don't try it, you're never going to know. You're never going to know. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy for me to say, okay, yeah, nothing is working in my garden. The weather didn't work. The conditions aren't the greatest. These things are trying to take me out. I have too many challenges. I have too many obstacles. I have too many of it. I could say all of these things. I could make up a million excuses as to why I could justify the reason why my garden isn't growing. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to stop trying different ways to keep the animals out. I'm not going to stop trying to make sure that my garden is watered, or making sure that there's no bugs on my plants, or making sure that the slugs are not devouring my leaves. Like, I'm going to keep on doing what I need to do. And I'm saying that to you to say you got to keep on going, because through all of these challenges, you're going to strengthen yourself. You're going to be able to overcome them, and you're going to have a different feeling about yourself, because you know that no matter what was stacked up against you, you were still able to push through and get through, right? And so we have to stop saying it's not working for me, let me try it again next year. A lot of us is like, oh, well, this didn't happen for me this year, I'm gonna wait again next year until my season next year. No, keep on going through what you're going through, growing through what you're going through, right? Because this is going to show you what you're made of, right? You're not weak. You're not a failure. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep on trying different things. Maybe this method didn't work, right? My collard greens, I'm going to talk about that too. My collard greens are not where I want them to be, but they're in a better space than they were last year. I've learned a whole lot more this year than I knew last year. I'm trying different things this year so I can make sure that I'm successful. And a lot of the times what we do is we overlook these small wins because we want to get to the ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is to have a huge head of collard greens, right? I want to have the big head that I seen Farmer Cab and Gardening with Goo. I wanted to have those. I'm like, I want to grow that. That's a goal for me, right? But I can't overlook the many wins that I had to get to that goal, right? I grew my collard greens from seed. I grew those things from seed. So I'm already more successful than I was last year. Does that mean that I'm going to cut it off right there? No, I'm not going to stop it right there. I'm going to continue to do what I need to do, because everything that I'm learning in this season, I could apply to the next season, right? Because what's going on with my collard greens right now, it could just be because it's a hot season. It could be just because it's summer. But collard greens are a fall crop. So maybe I'm going to have more success in the fall. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep on trying, right? I'm going to plant some more. And I'm going to see what they do in the fall. But I'm going to have that information for next year. Oh, well, I know in the summertime, I'm going to have to do something different. When I started my collard greens, I babied my collard greens, because I said, this is a goal that I want to achieve. I want to make sure that I'm successful with my greens. And so in order for me to be successful with my greens, what I did was I planted them. I started them. Did I start them inside and then I took them out? Yes, I started them inside, then I took them out. And then what I did was, when they were little seedlings, I covered them with the insect netting. Why? Because I didn't want the insects to eat them, and I didn't want anything else to get to them. So I covered them, and I made sure I babied them and did what I needed to do until they grew and they got taller than the hoops that I put in there. Right. So I was like, you know what? Should I just make the netting higher, or should I just go on ahead and let them breathe? And when I let them breathe, they actually started to flourish even more. They started to get bigger. Again, I've never successfully grown collard greens ever. Like, I've grown collard greens last year because I got a start from Home Depot or wherever I got the start from. I was able to grow it from that because it was already started, right? And all I had to do was make sure it survived, right? But this is my baby. I did this from the very beginning, right? And so what's happening now is that there are things eating the leaves. But this is what's going to happen all the time. So before I even started, I was getting information about how I can grow my collard greens without any chemicals and things like that, just nature. How can I grow them successfully in nature? So there's like, okay, well, what you could do is grow the onions and garlic around it. So what I did was I put it around the outside of the bed, right? Let's see if this works. The bugs are still eating it. And sometimes things, the way somebody said that it will work for them, don't work for you. Another message. Sometimes the success somebody else has with their business works for them, but it may not work for you. You may apply the same thing. You may do the same exact thing, but it doesn't work out for you. And so what I got to do in my own garden is I got to figure out, okay, so that worked for them, but it's not working for me. So now what can I do? What do I need to do? I'm going to keep trying again because I have the information you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to have the information for my next season. So my next season, I know I'm going to try this. I'm going to do it this way. Maybe I'm going to make sure that my netting is a little larger just in case, but I know that it's going to be cooler. So the problems that I have now may not be the problems that I have next time. So this may not be the season, but the lessons that you learn in this season, you can carry over into the next season. And that next season may be the season where it's going to pop. Right? That next season could be the season where everything is going to pop for you. It may not have happened in that season, but what you did was you grew through what you were doing. Right? I'm going to still continue to do this. I'm going to still be out there. I'm still going to be looking at these leaves. I'm still going to be picking off the leaves and putting them to the side like my bestie, putting it out there for the birds to eat the bugs. I'm still going to be doing that. I'm still going to be doing that. Because I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm trying different things. Yes, this is adversity for me, but I'm not a quitter. I'm not going to stop doing this because why? I am way further than I was the year before. And the year before that, I didn't even get them out. They grew out the dirt as a start, and that was it. I put them in the outside, and they did not survive. They did not survive. Why? I don't know. But I didn't give up. Right? I am doing something way different than I did the previous year. I'm able to be even further along than I was last year. Last year, like I said, I was successful because I had a leg up. I had a start. Something started it for me. And I just continued to carry it on. You know what I'm saying? But this year, I did it myself. And it's growing and it's abundant and they're bigger than my hand. So I'm already more successful than I was last year. Like I said, I'm already more successful. But again, there's a different kind of feeling because this is something that I did from the very beginning. I got it from the mud. You know what I'm saying? I got it. I put the seed in there myself. I germinated that seed. I watched it grow. I nurtured it. I did what I needed to do. I covered it. I did everything that I needed to do. And now that it's starting to grow, now I got to do other things. There are other challenges, right? And if you want success, there's going to always be challenges. You're never going to get to a point where you're just like, okay, I did it, I made it, that is it, I'm successful, that's it. No, because you should always be looking to achieve something higher than which you did. Because once, if you hit the goal and that's it, then what else do you have to live for? What else do you have to strive for? What else are you trying to do with yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, my goal is to grow my collard greens to bigger than me. Again, it may not happen in this season, but it may come in the fall. I'm going to try all the things that I had to do this year, and I'm going to try it again. I'm going to try it again because I'm not going to give up. Why? Because I can see where I've come from. You know what I'm saying? I could see that those little mini wins that I may be overlooking because my greens aren't as huge as I want them to be, but I had a win. It grew out the dirt. It grew out the dirt. That's a win. They grew bigger than the hoop. They outgrew the hoop and the insect netting. That's another win. They're bigger than my hands. If I want to right now, I can eat them. I can harvest them and I can eat them right now. That's another win. That's another win. So I can't overlook these wins because I don't have the huge head of lettuce just yet. And it's not to say that I won't. It's just to say that I don't have it right now. It's just to say that it may not be my season right now. Maybe because of where I live, maybe the conditions, maybe where I have it, maybe the trees, maybe, because, the trees have all these bugs. When it starts raining, they start falling into your stuff. Maybe it's that. You know what I'm saying? But when the season change and it starts to get a little cooler, we don't have that bug problem. So, and since this is a cooler crop, maybe I'm going to be more successful. But with all that experience that I had in the previous season and I'm carrying it over to this season, I may be successful getting the huge heads of collard greens that I want. Right? So let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Good morning, sis. Good morning, Chantel. Yes, yes, and yes. Yes, I'm telling you, you have to think about your small wins. You have to celebrate your small wins. Yes, you may not be at your ultimate goal right now, but that's okay. It takes you to you got to build up to get to it. You got to have some experience, right? We say, oh, I wish this didn't happen. I wish this didn't happen and this didn't happen. How this happened. We say that all the time, but if we didn't have these experiences, we would have nothing to compare it to. We would not know how to respond. We would not know what to do in adversity. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't think of other ways out because we would think that, oh, well, this didn't happen. And in my time, in my season, oh well. No, you got to look at it and say, I'm learning something through this. This is teaching me something. And I got to take that lesson. I got to roll with it. And I wouldn't have responded the same way. Like, let's say something happened to you this year and you became a different person because of all of the experience. And so now when something triggers you, you don't respond the same way anymore because you know that it's going to take you to a place that you don't want to go. It's going to lead you down a road that you don't want to be at. And you're going to say, you know what? Because of those experiences, I know that's not how. I'm not going to feed that beast right there. I'm not going to give my energy into that right now. I'm going to put my energy here because I know if I put my energy here, I'm going to bear fruit. I know that if I put my energy over this way, I am going to be successful. This is going to take me down low vibrations. I don't want to be in a low vibrational energy. I want to be in a high vibrational energy. So now I'm going to look towards this way. But you have that to know that. Right? A lot of the times we just want to get over the pain. We take medicine because we just want the pain to stop. But sometimes we need to find out what's the cause of the pain. Why is this hurting? Right? Because sometimes we're overlooked until we have a serious pain that takes us to the hospital. We have something where it sickens us so bad that we have to go and find out what the problem is, what the root cause is, because there's something deeper that's bothering you that needs to be addressed. And so that pain may just be a warning. Hey, something is wrong here. Hey, go check this out. Hey, you may want to start eating right. Hey, you may want to start walking. Hey, you may want to go outside and get you some sunshine. Hey, you may want to start Hey, you may want to go out there and start pruning those leaves. Hey, you may want to go out there and check your collard greens early in the morning. Hey, you may want to go out there and try to rinse those bugs off early in the morning. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are things that are going to be alerts for you, and we have to stop overlooking those things. right? We have to stop overlooking those things. Good morning, April. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Now I see why I was supposed to be in this room, okay, today, because I am this close. Come on, this close. Yes. Yes. Come on. Thank you, Yolanda. That's good, cousin. Thank you, cousin. All of my seeds has germinated, but aren't bearing any fruit. I need to pivot and figure it out. Life lesson, right? If everything, even if it's growing and you see, remember I said sometimes we keep all the leaves because we want to appear full, and sometimes we need to prune it down to like the stem. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we need to prune it down to the stem. Sometimes we need to prune the bottom so that it can get some airflow, so that we can get some new life, so that we can get some change, right? And so it can feed the top, and so that the top could bear the fruit. Sometimes we're in those seeds, like a lot of the times we have to do that. I did it to my cucumbers because my cucumbers, the leaves started turning, and I have this little app. I told y'all about my little app to tell me what's going on with the plant. Every time I use this app, it basically tells me the same thing. The nutrients, it may be some bug. It tells me the same thing every single time. So I'm like, is this app really working out? But, I said, you know what? Let me prune these leaves and see. So I pruned my leaves, and now my cucumbers are growing even bigger. So now I had one cucumber that I was like, I'm taking this off because I want to have more fruit production. So I was like, I'm gonna take this cucumber off. I'm gonna eat it, and then I'm gonna see what happens. I took the cucumber off. I pruned the leaves. I have about 5 or 6 growing on the cucumber plant now. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be able to say sometimes you got to cut things off, and you still got to be consistent, and you still got to show up. I still got to get out there and prune, right? That's not going to be the only yellow leaves. That's not going to be the only leaves that do that. There's going to be more. I'm going to have to stay diligent. I'm going to have to stay consistent. I'm going to have to be out there doing the work. And that's the same thing with us in our business. You're going to have to do the work. The work has to get done. No matter how you look at it, no matter if it doesn't look good to you right now, no matter if your leaves are yellowing right now, no matter if you have holes poked in your leaves right now, you still have to show up and still do the work. I said, I'm going to love on my garden a whole lot more. I'm going to be more consistent. I don't even know how I could be more consistent in my garden than I am. But I said, you know what? I'm going to do what I need to do because there's challenges that are presenting themselves. The things that worked for me before are no longer working for me in this season. I am going to have to switch up some things and change some things around. And maybe I'm going to try something different somewhere else. Again, but I can't overlook my small wins. Another one that I had was lettuce. The lettuce, I tried lettuce every single year since I started gardening. I have never been successful with lettuce. Never, never, never. I was successful growing lettuce through starts that my friend gave me last year. I was able to eat the lettuce from there, right? This year, I grew my own lettuce from seed. That's a small win and a big win to me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even mess with my lettuce. I don't even eat it. It's like I just wanted to see if it could grow. You know what I'm saying? Like we had salad from it, we had tacos from it, but I'm not eating lettuce every single day. You know what I'm saying? But I grew heads of lettuce myself, and that's a win for me. You know what I'm saying? But we are overlooking it because we're trying. I'm like, oh yeah, well, I'm overlooking my lettuce win because my collard greens ain't doing what it's supposed to do. My green beans, my tomatoes, my peas, those things are not doing what they're supposed to do. And I'm overlooking these magical things, these things that I wanted for forever, and I was able to get them. And now I'm like, that don't matter because this ain't happening. How many of us are doing that? We are looking past the things that we are doing that are providing fruit for us, and we're saying, but that's not working over there. So that doesn't matter because this is not working. I'm focused on this. Yes, you need to focus on that because you need it to be better. Yes, you need to learn about it. Yes, you need to figure things out, but you also need to know that I'm going to celebrate in this. I got to rejoice in that moment because I wasn't able to do that before. Right. And I'm going to continue to do this, even though I'm challenged. I'm going to continue to do it, and I'm going to continue to make it work because it's got to work. Right. It's got to work. Perhaps this is not my season, but it's got to work. Right. But it's got to work. I always say a win is a win. I don't care how small or big it is, period. Period. We had one fabulous piece of corn out of 10 stalks. We put that thing on the grill, right? It was like 10 pieces. Let me tell you something. You bared the fruit. You got to do. Kim had showed me her carrots. Her carrots were tiny. Last year, and when she showed it, she was like, some things in the garden don't work out, right? And that was her caption. And I was like, well, you know what? I got this. I had the same issue the year before, right? But what I know this year is that I'm not going to. I pulled them up early because I wanted to see if they were growing. I saw the greenery at the top. I saw they were big and bushy at the top, but they weren't ready to pull out of the ground. How many of you guys, y'all see all the great things happening? Y'all see all the great things happening, and then you pull it out of the ground, and it's this small. And now you done messed it up. Because you can't put it back in the ground and be like, oh, I see that you didn't work. No, you got to continue to work. You got to continue to work. I know that I'm not going to pull up my carrots so early. I know that I'm going to leave it in there a little longer. Right? And I also know that carrots is another thing that likes to grow in the cooler weather. It can grow in the winter. So I'm going to leave it in there and I'm going to see what happens, because now I have the information from last year. My carrots were super tiny. They were delicious, but they were super tiny, and I'm going to let them grow a little longer. Why? Because I got the information from last year, and I'm going to do something different this year. Again, use the same method in your business. Use the same method in your life. This applies to every single thing. Every single thing. I have a tendency to not celebrate my wins and just move on to the next thing. And when we do that, I think it makes us less grateful for the moments, right? Because we need to know that I did that, right? Because we are ego driven. We love to hear that we've done a good job. We love to see that we've accomplished something. But if we keep on moving to the next thing and moving to the next thing, like the thing that was a feat for us before was nothing, then how are we ever celebrating our wins? How are we ever being grateful for, you know what? I got to be grateful that I overcame that, because anybody else, that could have took them out, but it didn't take me out. Oh, that's going to build me up for the next time. Oh, that's going to build me up for the next time. Oh, good job, sis. You next time. It's going to keep on building up your confidence. So for the next challenge, you know what I'm saying? Like every challenge we should be approaching, we should be confident in it. It may not work out, but we should be confident in every single challenge. Why? Because if we don't believe in ourselves, I don't care what anybody says. If you don't feel it in you, nothing nobody says is going to make it happen for you. Right? You may want to make something happen because you want to prove somebody wrong, right? But that's not the motivation. That's not going to keep you going. That's not going to keep you going, because now when that happens, what you going to wait for? You got to prove somebody wrong every single time in order for you to be successful? No, you got to build that up in you. You got to say, oh girl, I can't believe you just won a grant. Celebrate that. Celebrate that. Oh, my new labels look amazing. I love them. Celebrate that. You know what my labels looked like before? You know what I'm saying? We have to start looking at these things because they have to build up. They build up to the next, to the next goal, to the next obstacle, to the next win. They build up to those things. We have to start looking at it and say, you know what? I did that. I showed up. Even though it looked like it was a dark season for me, even though it didn't look like things was going to happen for me, even though it seemed like everything was stacked up against me, I still made it through that. So now you looking at it like, whatever comes my way in next time, I could do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to cower and go into a corner. I'm not going to just quit. I'm not just going to give up, because I know what I'm made of. If I could do this, I could do that. If I could do this and that, I could do anything. Right? And so we got to start looking at what we're doing and celebrating those things, because these are the things that are going to build confidence for us to get to the next challenge. Again, you can't overlook something like you getting through something that could have destroyed anybody. You know what I'm saying? You may say, oh yeah, well, that's nothing. And because we think that we got to be so humble. No, celebrate your wins, sis. Celebrate, because who's going to celebrate it for you? You gonna wait for somebody else to say you did a good job in order for you to celebrate it? No, you need to celebrate you. Every single moment of every single breath that you take is a gift. Every time everything you can see is a gift. Things you can hear, everything is a gift. right? And so the more gratitude, the more gratitude we practice, the more great things will keep coming to us. So we got to keep on celebrating our wins. We got to keep on boosting ourselves up. It's not to say that you won't get conceited and you can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't pat yourself on the back, but you got to, because it's going to help you for the next one. Right? It's going to help you for the next one. You can see what you are made of. I'm not saying go out there and boast and brag to the world, right? Because that's not it. But you do need to say it to yourself, because everything happens in your own time within you, right? No matter what you are, what people see outside, you still got to deal with you. No matter where you go, you still are you, no matter what. So if you're insecure, if you're feeling like everybody is jealous of you and everything is always against you, when you're by yourself, those same thoughts are going to still be with you. I don't care what anybody said on the outside. You're still going to have to deal with that on your inside. You're going to still deal with that by yourself. That's still going to be something that you have to take care of. Nobody else is going to be able to fix it. Somebody can encourage you. Somebody can inspire you. Somebody can empower you. All of those things can be possible. But it's like motivation. It's going to be something that's going to motivate you for a little while, but then them thoughts are going to come creeping back in, and it's something going to tell you, you can't do it. You didn't do it before. This didn't happen then. You know you can't do it. You're not made for this. You a failure. You failed last time. Those thoughts are going to keep coming back to you. Why? Because you got to deal with you every single time. So when you do something and you know that you did it, you got to celebrate you. Why? Because, girl, you a badass and you did it yourself. You did it. You know what I'm saying? You may have had help, or you may have done it on your own. No matter what, you overcome the challenge. So if you can overcome the challenge, again, you can overcome any other challenge. Right? If you don't, who will? That's right, cousin. If you don't, who will? You have to celebrate you, because you're going to deal with you. You're going to deal with you. No matter where you go, no matter where you change, you know what environment you change yourself into, no matter what relationship you go into, no matter what ventures you do, you still got to deal with you. The problem still is going to exist, because you got to deal with, and I know Sister Yu was talking about, you got to deal with what's the root. You got to deal with where it starts. Because when you grow in your seed, the first thing to grow is the roots. It's got to establish that strong foundation. That's the first thing that's going to come out. Right? The roots, because you got to establish the strong foundation before anything can come up, before anything grows on, before you can get any fruit. Right? Because something has got to keep it stable. Something's got to keep it moving. Something's got to make sure that the foundation is right for growth. And that's you. You got to make sure that your foundation is strong. You got to make sure that you pour into yourself. And that means that you got to celebrate. I don't care if your small win was, I wanted to get out 5 packages and I got my 5 packages out. That's a win. Like Kay said, a win is a win. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if a goal of yours was to just feel better every moment of the day. Then you were successful, right? My goal was to feel better every moment of the day. I know sometimes, some moments, I let that doubt start to creep in, but my goal was, I pivoted. My goal was for me to feel better every moment of the day. How am I going to feel better every moment of the day? I got to remember who I am. I got to say something good about me, right? Who's going to say something? If you don't say nothing good about you, who's going to say something good about you? Who's going to big you up? Who's going to be your biggest cheerleader? Outside influences are great, but it's got to start in you. You got to be your biggest cheerleader. You got to know that you can do it. You got to consider yourself a badass. You got to say that I got this. I got this. You got to say that I'm not giving up. You got to be the disciplined one. You got to be the one that's consistent. You got to be the one that's intentional. You got to be the one that got to show up every single day. I don't care if you have a team of people that got to show up. You got to be the leader. You got to be the foundation. Right? I don't care who else is going to help you get there. You got to help yourself get there. You got to be there for you. Right? And so that's one thing that doing this garden is like helping me to see, like, yeah, I'm trying to be successful in the garden, but every single time I do something in the garden, it's another life lesson. Every time I do something in the garden, it's another lesson for business. Every time I do something in the garden, it's another lesson for my fitness, for my health, for, communication, those type of things, because you see life in the garden. You really do. I have something that are destroying my squash leaves. I went in there, my squash leaves are huge, right? Huge. And now I have a problem that I've never had before. I have a bunch of leaves that are yellowing and they're withering. And I'm like, what is this? I've never had those vine borers or things like that that they say devastate the squash. I've never had that before. I was successful growing squash the year before. I was successful growing squash last year. This year seems like it's a struggle, but this whole season for me seems like it's a struggle. Why it seems like a different struggle for me? Because the season is different. The season is different for me. This may, like I said before, this may be a different season for somebody. You may have seen massive success previously, massive success, and now you don't see anything. You may have had lots of orders in a particular season, and this season seems a little dry. This season seemed a little dry, but now it's time for you to think outside of the box. What can I do? Because I don't have control over what happened last year for this year, right? I can't make that happen again immediately without trying different things. I can't mimic that success without trying different things. Maybe you were emailing like crazy, maybe you slacked off, maybe you were on social media like crazy, maybe you slacked off, maybe you got some recognition somewhere, maybe you slacked off, maybe an influencer says something and maybe you slacked off, maybe you're not sending your stuff out, maybe you're not doing any ads, maybe you're not showing up the way you used to, maybe you're not doing any blogs, maybe you're not even doing any videos, right? But you're still expecting the same thing because you're trying to ride off that success that you had previously. I can't ride off my success that I had in my garden previously because obviously this season is a different season for me, right? This season is a different season for me. We had a longer, colder spring, right? Our spring kind of felt like fall. You know what I'm saying? And then when summer does start to feel like summer, we have them colder days again. Like it's so up and down. So the vegetables don't know how to I mean they do know how to adjust because they got to, but I'm just saying it's not the best place for them. You know what I'm saying? It's not the best temperature for them. You know what I'm saying? It's not the optimal environment that they thrive in, but now I got to figure out how to make it work. And you may be in a season where you got to try to make things work. It doesn't mean wrong. And it doesn't mean that you're not doing what you need to do. It just means that now you got to do things differently. Now you got to approach it differently. I had to approach my squash differently. I got to approach my cucumbers differently this year. I got to approach my tomatoes differently this year. I kept on planting green beans in different places because I wanted to make sure that I was able to harvest them. I didn't give up because the green beans that I initially put in was the birds took them. I didn't give up because the vines are grown, but there's nothing on it. I said, you know what? Let's try different places, right? And so this is where you may be in your business. You have to try different things in different places, right? That may look like a book. That may look like a coach. That may look like a seminar. That may look like, taking a class somewhere. It may look like a bunch of different things, right? It may mean watering yourself. It may mean being in a space by yourself for a second and praying. That may be meditating for a second. That may be getting yourself together first and fixing what wasn't working, right? Or fixing what's not working now, right? Because these little things are going to blow up into bigger things, right? Things don't just happen to just fall apart just because they just decided to fall apart. It's a bunch of little things that we're overlooking that are contributing to things falling apart, right? The bugs, the birds going, and not the said birds, let's say the squirrels, because the birds, unless I put a net on top of my greens or whatever, I can't stop the birds from, going in there. And then the birds are going in there getting the bugs and stuff, which is great for me, right? They're doing their job. I don't even mess with the spiders. The spiders are doing their job. Catch these bugs for me. You know what I'm saying? And I used to be scared of bees. I'm not scared of bees. I'm like, where are my bees? Where are my bees? I know that I need them in my garden. My cucumbers need the bees. My tomatoes need the bees. My squash need the bees. Everything needs the bees. Where are my bees? Right? I used to be scared of them. I was shooing them out of the garden until I realized it was necessary for me to have them in there. It was necessary for me to make pollinators. It was to plant pollinators in my garden. right? I didn't want flowers before. Now I'm planting flowers in my garden. Why? Because I need the bees. I need the bees. Whereas I thought I was trying to keep them out because I'm trying to keep the bugs out. I didn't know it was beneficial. Now I know. Now I know. So now I'm planting, I'm preparing so that I can bring more bees in. So I'm putting things in there that they would enjoy so they could come in my garden and live and love and enjoy it. Right. And so we got to see these things and do we got to move differently. We got to see what happened like the years before or the seasons before, and we got to move differently, right? We have to move differently. Why? Because there are things that we've learned that is going to help us. I've learned that planting flowers in my garden, not just marigolds, but different type of, attracting different kind of pollinators to come into the garden. I know that now. I didn't know it before. So that makes me a better gardener. Even though I don't have as many successes as I would like to have, I do see success. Maybe I'm not winning as big as I want to right now, but I'm still winning. I'm still not defeated. I'm still not throwing in the towel. And a lot of us is in that space, right? We're feeling like this nothing is working. I'm just ready to give up. I'm just ready to quit. I don't want to do this no more. Maybe I'll try this again. Maybe I'll try this again next year. Maybe I'll do this again this time. Maybe I'll launch again this time. Everybody just putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. That's not going to make it better. You ignoring a problem is not going to make it better. Me ignoring that the bugs is eating my collard greens is not going to make it better. Because if I allow the bugs to continue to eat my greens, they're going to devour the entire crop. They're not going to stop. They're not going to be considerate. They're not going to say, oh, well, Nikki don't want us to eat her collard greens anymore because she has a goal that she wants to grow a huge head of collard greens is bigger than her. They're not going to say that. They don't care. They don't care about my goals. They don't care about that I planted that. All they care about is that, oh, this is where I'm going to live. This is where I'm going to thrive. I'm going to plant some eggs under here. We're going to get this. We're going to do this. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about me. They don't care about what my goals are. And so we have to start looking and we have to start saying, you know what? If I don't start doing what I need to do for me, these small things are going to take me out. These small things that I allow to keep growing and growing and growing and growing are going to devastate me. I have to start addressing these smaller issues that are making problems for me so that I can hit this goal and I can be abundant. Right? If I allow, because there's these little white butterflies be flying around in the garden. If I allow these little white butterflies to lay their eggs on my greens, on my kale, on my whatever, if I allow them to put the eggs there, that's going to produce more of them. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to mess up what I got going on and it's going to destroy it. Right? But I know that can destroy it. So I can't overlook it. I got to be diligent. I got to be out there. I got to be like a hawk. Like, what's going on? Oh, I can't see no egg sacs in here. They got to go. I got to take this leaf off and put it in, put it for the birds like my bestie. I got to do something. I can't allow that to take over my garden. I can't allow that to destroy my leaves. I can't allow that to stop me from my goal because I'm still going to hit my goal. I just got to be disciplined. I got to be consistent. I have to be diligent. I have to make sure that I'm out there hitting my goals. Hit my goals. Maybe today I found them and I'm gonna put it in the pot for the birds. But maybe I overlooked it one day because I didn't see it. But the next day I'm gonna see it. You know what I'm saying? So maybe you didn't hit that goal when you wanted to hit it. Maybe you didn't see that thing. Sometimes things be coming out of left field for us sometimes, right? And we can't even imagine something like this will happen to us, and it does, and we're blindsided, and then we're like, okay, that knocked me off my square for a second. Let me get back up on it. You know what I'm saying? Let me get back to it. So you may have overlooked it. I may have overlooked the egg sac or whatever you call it in my garden. But guess what? When I go back in the next time, I'm going to see it. You know what I'm saying? When I go back in the next time, I'm going to make sure I check a little better. I'm going to make sure that I don't overlook it. I'm going to make sure that I take it out because I'm not going to allow that to take me out. It's them or me. And I'm going to choose me every single time. It's them or me. And I'm choosing me. And you need to be the same way. You need to choose you every single time. So celebrate your small wins, celebrate your large wins, and you should celebrate your small wins even more so than you do the large wins, because it took those small wins for you to even get to that large win. Right? So that's my message for y'all today. Did y'all enjoy it? Did y'all enjoy? I know I was talking a lot. But let me know if y'all enjoyed it. Put some ones in the chat. Ones in the chat. Ones in the chat. Did you enjoy today's my what's eating your garden? Because that's what I that was in my head. I was like, what's eating your garden? What's eating your garden? I guess that's what it is, and I'm starting to trust more when I hear something or when I feel something, to go with the flow, and just start realizing that may be God, because I'm looking for a sign. I'm looking for something to drastically, show up. I'm waiting for something to be bold. I'm waiting for a voice. I'm waiting for something. And it's like, when I said, "Ooh, what's eating your garden?" the whole thing just flowed to me. I knew where I was going in my garden. I knew what I wanted to share in my garden. I knew what the points were that I wanted to share about those things, and my small wins, and the things that were my challenges, the things that I had to overcome in the seasons. I knew exactly where it was. So I'm now learning to trust my voice, and we need to learn how to trust our voice. Again, you overlooking your small wins, and you're not even listening to your voice. You'll overlook something and be like, I knew I should have did it that way. I heard that, not I heard that, but you say, I knew I should have did it that way. I knew that wasn't the right person for me, or things like that. And we know those things, but we think that it's just us, and we don't look at it. And I know Sister Eula was saying that too. We overlook those things, and that is where God is speaking to us at. That is where God is communicating. And we overlook it because we think it's just us. And sometimes we need to listen to those voices. And today I listened to my voice. So let's see. We got some ones. I'm learning patience from this garden. That's for sure. You're gonna learn patience like a mug from the garden. You're gonna learn patience. You're gonna be determined, right? Because you're gonna be like, oh, this didn't happen. I'm gonna keep on doing it. Keep on doing it. I grow things in my garden I don't even eat, because I want to see if I could. You know what I'm saying? I don't even eat certain things in my garden. I don't even eat squash like that. But I tell you, I got like 10 squash plants out there. I don't even eat eggplant like that, but I tell you, I got eggplant out there. I got arugula. I have red sorrel, and I don't even plant that. It just comes back voluntarily by itself. I have oregano that is thriving like peppermint leaves. The peppermint take over the entire garden. My oregano is like huge, taking over the space. So the oregano, the sage, those things come back. But there's some, like I said, there's things I don't even eat the oregano. I did one time this season, and I said I was going to make oregano oil. I didn't do that. And I said I have the sage. I've never even used the sage. Never. But it's an ego booster for me, just like corn is an ego booster for me, because it grows so big. You're like, oh yeah, I'm growing stuff. You know what I'm saying? It hits you. Like when I look out my window, I like to see the greenery, because I know what it looks like when I start. All you see is the dirt, and you see your little seedlings in there. But then when you start seeing all that greenery, you like, I've really done something, right? I've really achieved something. I've really accomplished something. And so, yeah, that's all I want to share with y'all this morning. Make sure that you're following me on all social media. We are Bubble Babes, BABEZ University, everywhere. Make sure you go to BubbleBabesUniversity.com to join the community. And if you would like to be a member on my YouTube channel, come on, be a member. I don't know where that information is. I got to figure that part out, but I did create the membership. So make sure you go on ahead if you want to join the membership. What else? Tomorrow will be the last day that we have Coffee with Nikki, because we will be doing the Midwest Conference, and we will be back for Coffee with Nikki on Tuesday. I will be back on Sunday, but I don't know what time, so that's in the air. But definitely we will be back scheduled for Tuesday. And so again, you guys, subscribe, turn on your notification, not again, but turn on your subscribe. Turn on your notifications. Subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you can be notified when we go live. We are live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And next week we are back in live in the session studios. We will have Alejandro. Alejandro is going to be talking about doing markets, holiday markets, getting ready, preparing, all of that stuff. We are going to be speaking to 14-year-old Alejandro, okay? Because his birthday was July 17th. And he is now 14. And so we're going to be talking to a teenager, an official teenager. For live in the session studio. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. And yep, that's it. That's all, y'all. So thank you so much for rocking with me. I hope that this blessed somebody. I hope it resonated with you. I hope that you got something from it and that you will take it and use it for your next season, or take it and use it for your everyday. Sometimes we get scared to dig to see what's underneath. Yes, I just Googled about my potatoes, and I think it's time to harvest. Did the greenery start to die off at the top? It's been giving me anxiety. I'm going to dig around and see. If the greenery at the top started dying away, dying back, then it's time to harvest them. But if you see it's still green and it's still growing, keep adding dirt. Keep adding dirt, because then you'll get more potatoes. Keep adding more dirt. Because your potatoes may be small, keep on adding dirt, they get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and grow more. Are you adding more dirt into your potatoes, Melody? Let me know. Hey, y'all, I was in training. I'll catch the replay. Hey, Big Meech. Hey, Jordan. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, catch the replay today. This was all about the garden today. All about the garden. But it's always all about the garden. Y'all hit the like. Why y'all don't be hitting the like? Like, we already noticed. Melody, I don't know if you are delayed. I'm trying to wait to see. But if anything, just send me a DM and we can talk about it. All right, y'all. So y'all have an amazing day. I have to prepare. I have to get orders out, and I have to get ready for the conference. So I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye, y'all.